And hello, welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I am back after leaving Debbie by herself yesterday, but you all kept her great company, and it was a wonderful program. But Debbie, good to be back with you. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, and we're glad you're back. You missed a great conversation, but I'm sure you got to listen to it. So it was a wonderful topic just to explore with our listeners. But today we are talking about something that is just unbelievably important in this day and age. If you turn on the TV set and you've seen some of the commercials that are sponsored by the Knights of Columbus, we're going to talk about what it means to be a Knight of Columbus. And this is exciting, Jerry. I can't wait to get started on this.
Yeah, we first want to give the phone number out because I am a fourth-degree Knight. We're going to have a guest joining us who is also a fourth-degree Knight of Columbus. And dear brother Knights, call in, ask your questions, share your take on what it means to you to be a Knight of Columbus. Ladies, if you are looking for a fraternal order, an organization, service organization that your husband can belong to, or your dad or your son, call up, get some information about the Knights. Our number is 1-800-585-9396. Lines are open right now, 800-585-9396. The Knights of Columbus, it is the world's largest Catholic fraternal service organization, founded by Father Michael J. McGivney in New Haven, Connecticut in 1882. And joining us here on the program today is John Bertrand, Sir Knight John Bertrand. He and his wife Barbara are going to be celebrating 50 years of marriage this August. They have 4 sons. One is Father Jacob Bertrand in the Diocese of San Diego, and they have 6 grandchildren. John has been involved in, in church life on so many levels, the parish level, diocesan level in 2 dioceses. And as I mentioned, he is a fourth-degree Knight and has served at the state level in California as well. So, John, I could say so much more, but we want to get you in here. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, Jerry. Thank you.
Very good, very good. I gave just a quick snapshot of the history of the Knights. There's so much more that could be said about that. But, John, first of all, just how long have you been a Knight? You've been a Knight probably for a few decades, I would guess.
Not really. I think I was looking at it this morning, about 10 to 11 years.
Oh, is that right? You're so involved. I just thought maybe you came out of the womb a Knight of Columbus or something.
Not really. When you're passionate about something, you get involved.
Wow, praise God.
That is awesome, John. John, my husband's a fourth-degree Knight. Marty, he's a fourth-degree Knight as well. So I guess I'm a wife of a Knight, which is pretty cool. And so I share that with Barbara, your wife, and I'm excited about that. But I started off at the beginning of the show, John, and I just wanted to comment because I wanted to make sure I just said thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Knights of Columbus for the commercials that they're doing about raising awareness for the persecuted Christians in the Middle East. I think when I saw that they were sponsored by the Knights of Columbus, I was like, oh, wow, way to go, Knights. What has been the feedback from those commercials? I'm curious.
Oh, it's been fantastic. It's just another example of the Knights of Columbus locally and nationally and internationally reaching out to those in need, those who are suffering. And right now, this is, of course, one of the biggest persecutions and sufferings that are taking place in the history of our church.
Right. Yeah.
John Bertrand with us on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and we're talking about the Knights of Columbus today. So if you are a Knight, maybe you're a Catholic man practicing your faith, looking for a great fraternal order, an organization to belong to, and really give back to the church, join us here. Our number is 1-800-585-9396. The Knights give millions of dollars every year to the church, to the Pope. The annual convention is broadcast on EWTN, and of course the Knights help to sponsor EWTN News Nightly and so many other things. And John, the size and scope of the Knights, some people aren't maybe even aware that the Knights of Columbus exist, and yet it's a global organization. Do you have any at least estimated figures on how many men are involved in this?
Yeah, as of today, this year, we have over 15,000 councils. And the councils is the lowest level. It's the grassroots level. It's attached normally to a parish, and that constitutes almost 2 million members throughout the United States, Canada, the Philippines, Mexico, Poland, Dominican Republic, on and on. Ukraine, South Korea, Guam. There's several other countries that are involved in the Knights of Columbus.
John, let me ask you, my dad was a knight, and when my husband was first asked to become a knight, I had this feeling, and forgive me about this, and maybe if you can explain this to me, I had this feeling that it was more of the mature population that joined the Knights. I didn't see many quote unquote young guys joining the Knights. Is there a movement to try to expand this to get more of the younger men involved in this?
Yes, there is. Historically, it's been men who have already had their careers. And they're ready to get involved in the church and service to our community in some way. And because of that, I think the average age of the Knights of Columbus now is probably in the 60s. And the Supreme Council, along with the local councils, are doing a lot to promote the Knights of Columbus to the younger generation, to like what I would call the young adult community, the 18 to 40-year-old bracket. There's lots of programs being developed to address these issues. And the results are phenomenal. They are coming in. Every year we look at membership and new members, we see a lot of the young people. And we go to a meeting now, we see young people there, in their 20s and 30s who are taking leadership roles and getting involved. And that's a great thing because that's very, very important.
So what's the youngest? Is it like 18 or is there an age for the minimum age? Yeah.
Yes, 18. You have to be 18 to be a Knight of Columbus. You have to be a practicing Catholic, and that's basically it. And just a desire to serve our church, our community, the needs, the international community in some way, the needy, those that have needs. That's basically what we're all about is service.
Well, real quickly, I just want to say Matt Gabinski joined at 18. He's our call screener. So when you call up, you can congratulate him that he joined at 18 because he just shared that it's popular on Catholic college campuses. So way to go, Matt. But call in 1-800-585-9396. I'm sorry, Jerry. I had to get that in about Matt.
No, I think that's a good point. There are a lot of college campuses where we see Knights of Columbus councils as well. So, dear friends, dear brother Knights, come on, you guys. Whenever Debbie and I are traveling, hosting Catholic Radio pledge drives, we often get challenges from a Knights Council or individual Knights for other Knights to call in and pledge and support. Well, I'm issuing that challenge right now. You've got 2 fourth-degree Knights along with Debbie here on the air today. Want to hear from a couple of Knights of Columbus today. What is your experience like? What drew you to the Knights? What do you derive from it as you give to the church and to the broader community by being a member of the Knights of Columbus? Anyone interested in the Knights? Or, again, it's men only, but the beneficiaries really, John, are to a large extent women and families, correct? I mean, Father McGivney had a vision for providing for families and wives and kids.
That's correct. When he was in seminary studying to become a priest, his father actually died. The immigrants back in the late 1880s, especially the Catholic immigrants, they were really a lot of prejudice against them, and the jobs they could get were the very, very difficult, demeaning jobs that basically cut their life short. And so they were dying very young in the 30s. And so he was a seminarian, and he came back. He was going to quit and take care of his family, and his family said, "No, we're going to find a way for you to complete your studies." He became a priest, and one of the first things he did as an associate was, we have to do something to take care of the widows and the families when these men die off so young. And that was really the basis of the whole foundation of the Knights of Columbus, to take care of people, especially the families. And out of that first initiation, when it all started, now today we have the fraternal insurance company that's worth that has over $100 million in force, one of the largest insurance companies in the world, and it was all because of a dream of Father McGivney to take care of his Catholic brothers and sisters when there was a death in the family. That's just the beginning, and then, of course, it spread to all the outreach and charitable programs that we are noted for throughout the country.
That is beautiful. Well, we've got John Bertrand with us. He's a fourth degree knight, and you can call in and share your comments about the Knights of Columbus or your experience. But how about this? If you're a wife of a knight, maybe you encouraged your husband, like I did, to join the Knights, and maybe you could share what that experience has been. If you can do that for us right now, you'll help others to really get involved with the Knights of Columbus. It's a wonderful organization, and we all should definitely take an interest, take an eye, and be part of that a wonderful, great Knights of Columbus that's in our communities. It's all around us. You've seen the Knights at masses, around the bishop. You've seen it. So be part of it. Call in right now, 1-800-585-9396.
Couple other things, John, before we take our first break here and then go to calls. One is if you could briefly describe the 4 degrees. We mentioned that you and I are both fourth degree. Listeners might be wondering what are the degrees, and if you can describe those briefly. And then maybe just a word about what involvement entails, because I think a lot of men, you know this, John, every organization struggles to get members, and a lot of men say, well, it's just going to eat up too much of my time. I just don't have the time to devote to that right now. So talk briefly about the 4 degrees, and then maybe address that concern that might be on the minds of some men.
Okay. Basically, the 4 degrees are really 4 instructional steps in the Knights of Columbus. The first degree being that of charity. And it's just basically a lesson in charity and how to live out charity in your life with your family and with others. The second degree is a degree of unity, where we need to remind ourselves that we have to be unified. We have to stay together. And the third one is fraternity. It just says that we have to care about others. We can't just care about ourselves. And the last degree is the patriotism, which is simply promoting the idea that as Catholics, we have to also be very proud American citizens, and we have to support our country and everything it stands for. So in a nutshell, that's what they're all about. And so it's not like you're promoting yourself. It's like you're just getting another aspect of what it means to be a full Knight of Columbus. Charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism. And we commonly call them the first, second, third, and fourth degree. And now there's some name changes going on with that. But that's basically the steps that we go through just to learn, to learn about ourselves.
That is pretty cool. So each step, does it take a certain time, and what it like is it? Do you have to stay in a certain amount of time, or can you kind of elevate those steps quite rapidly?
No, you go through these based on your ability, as quickly as you want, as slow as you want. It's like the same thing with the time commitment. Everybody needs to find a passion in their life that they want to promote. That's something good for others rather than just themselves. And the Knights of Columbus offers that opportunity. We have so many different kinds of programs that are being offered throughout the country. That's what it's all about. So it's not like you got to come to a bunch of meetings every week and all this kind of things. It's like discovering what it is. Do you want to work for families? Do you want to work for the homeless? Do you want to help somebody else? And you find that niche, and then that's what you do in your council, and you promote that. So the time is up to you as an individual, what you can and want to be able to do.
All right, John, real quick, we got calls to get to, but that issue of guys who may at least protest in their minds, they think, well, I don't have time to take on something else. It's going to be meetings. They're going to want me to do this, that, and the other thing. My own experience has been that the Knights, it's good. We want people to attend the meetings and choose an outreach that they're involved in, but it's not a huge time commitment. That doesn't seem like to me anyway.
No, it's what you want to make out of it. And, of course, by attending some meetings, you are, again, growing as a Catholic. And when you grow as a Catholic and as a father, a husband, a family, it all affects everything. So we have things that help us grow individually, too, in our faith. And a lot of that happens at meetings with our chaplains giving us a nice, maybe a short homily of some kind. So they're not just business things. They're there to help us to grow.
See, I'm glad you said that, John, because maybe that could be one of the reasons why men are apprehensive in joining up. And so that's good that you shared that it kind of can be tailored to a person's time allowances. So that's really good. John, we're gonna take a very quick pause. When we come back, we've got John Bertrand with us, Fourth Degree Knight. He's with us, and Beverly, you're going to be up first. But we're going to take that quick pause, and when we come back, we'll go to the phones. You can ask your questions, give your comments, share your experiences. And I'm gathering Beverly's the wife of a knight. I can't wait to talk to her. So stay with us. We're talking about the Knights of Columbus today. You want to stay tuned in. You want to learn all about it, because after the show, you'll probably want to explore it. Be right back.
The wisdom of Mother Angelica.
Don't you feel sometime like there's so many people in the world, how does he hear your prayer? Never think of that? Huh? Everybody thinks of that. I'm only a little grain of sand on the seashore. Oh, but that's not true. See, God is God. And you and I have to let God be God. I don't know how he does it. He's God. We have to accept this beautiful reality. It's a reality. God knows me, loves me, chose me before time began. I like that.
We live in a time that the secular voice dominates so thoroughly that we need to get that Catholic perspective out. Friends, this is Bishop Robert Barron with some great news. You can now hear my weekly Word on Fire show here on EWTN. Listen in as I discuss topics related to faith and culture every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern on the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network. Live truth. Live Catholic.
This is Janet Benkovic, host of Women of Grace.
Hello, this is Cardinal Donald Wuerl of the Archdiocese of Washington.
This is Gloria Purvis, host of Morning Glory. Thanks for listening to the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
All right, we're talking with John Bertrand, Sir Knight John Bertrand. That means he's a Fourth Degree Knight of Columbus. We've got Beverly and Steve, and other calls are being screened right now. We do have a couple lines open. If you would like to weigh in on the conversation, share your take on being a knight. If you are, as Debbie said earlier, maybe you're the wife of a Knight of Columbus, and you had to do a little bit of encouraging to get your husband to join. Maybe it's changed his life in a really significant way. Whatever your question or comment on this, the Knights of Columbus are a very important organization in the church. 1-800-585-9396. All right, as promised, Beverly is first, listening to EWTN Radio on Sirius XM 130 in Savannah, Georgia. Hi, Beverly. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Okay, we were going to go to Beverly, or is it Steve first? Hello, Steve. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, let's start with Steve then.
Oh, you can hear me.
In St. Louis. Welcome, Steve.
Yes,
sorry about
St.
that.
Louis.
Yep. What's your take on this, Steve?
Oh, well, I used to be in the seminary, and I left the seminary because I needed to have a little idea of what it was like to be have a life where I wasn't pampered and everything wasn't given to me on a silver platter. Well, then when I went back to the seminary, I wasn't allowed in, and that's okay. But I know the origins of the Knights of Columbus. My ancestors came over from here from Ireland, and they had the hard time, but it was the Knights that helped them out. And they were all a big part of it. Well, I would like to be a part of it too, but I have one little problem. And, well, I don't think of it as a problem, but I'm gay. I'm chaste. I'm celibate. I strive to be a very holy person. But that just happens to be what my direction is. I don't do anything about it. But I wonder if that will keep me from being a knight, or should I just let go of the dream?
John?
Yes.
Your thoughts on Steve's issue here?
I could not hear any of the question.
Oh, Okay, not sure why that was, but Steve, you want to try it again, and we'll see if John is picking you up here.
Well, sure. First of all, John, can you hear me?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Apparently, John is not hearing Steve. We'll try and get that problem fixed. In the meantime, John, Steve was attempted to go to the seminary for a time and was not allowed, was not accepted. Very practicing, faithful Catholic, would like to be a Knight of Columbus, but he is a gay man, and he says he's living chaste and celibate and devoted to his faith, and he is wondering if that's an obstacle to joining the Knights of Columbus.
Yes, that's not a problem at all. I mean, a good practicing Catholic, Steve is, you're more than welcome. That's not a problem whatsoever. If you want some contact information for your local area and you don't know who it is, you can go to the Supreme website, which is www.kofc.org. You can click on the home page to join up, and it takes you to another page, and you can actually fill it out, and somebody will get in contact with you in your local area.
So none of them will be anti-gay. They hate me because I am gay.
I don't know if you were.
Question for him, please?
Yeah, John. I apologize, Steve, that we have this technical problem, but
no, it's okay.
John, Steve's concern is that there might be some who would look down upon him or be discriminatory because he is a gay man.
Well, that shouldn't be, but everybody's a human being, and there could possibly be some people that are in that frame of mind. I can't speak for other individuals. I could tell you that our council would welcome him openly.
Oh, good.
But that's an individual kind of thing, and then hopefully that doesn't happen. I think the chances are pretty minor, but it's possible.
Okay.
But I think as Catholics we need to know and learn that we need to accept our brother Catholics who are good Catholics and living out their faith.
That was a wonderful answer. Please tell him thank you so much, and I will join.
Okay, and Steve, I just want to add to what John said. By the way, John, Steve said thank you very much. We're still having a little bit of a problem with our guest hearing the caller, but I just want to say to you, Steve, I agree with John. If there's any ill will toward you as a man with a same-sex attraction, living chastely, wanting to join the Knights of Columbus, it would absolutely be on an individual basis. It would not be on the part of a council, certainly not on the part of the Knights of Columbus overall, in terms of the worldwide organization. And I would say it would be scandalous to me if there was any such discrimination. So, Steve, I encourage you, just like John did, and hope that time on the air that you had with him here was helpful for you.
I'm going to join up ASAP. Thank you so much. I will pray for all of you tonight.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you so very much. We appreciate that. Great call. And by the way, Beverly was on the line. She got disconnected from Savannah, Georgia. Beverly, excuse me, call back, please. It was that you are a wife of a knight. We'd love to hear from you. Beverly from Savannah, Georgia. Call back, please. Okay, we're going to go to Ed. Listening. Oh, we got to go to break. We can't go to Ed yet. Hold on, Ed. Don't move. But, John, I hope you're going to be able to hear Ed because I think he's got a great comment about the Knights of Columbus. And I believe the break is not for a couple minutes. So may I ask a question of John real fast?
We've got about 1 minute till the break
1 minute.
starts. Yeah.
Okay, John, maybe you could just think about this, and then we'll take the break. And just wanted to ask this. Are there many opportunities for the wives of knights to partake during the year, not just at the levels when you are getting – I can't remember what the name of the levels are called when you get to be third degree and fourth degree when you go to – the different levels, but are there other like social events and other things for women to partake in to get to know fellow knights and the wives of knights? So think about that. We're going to get ready for this break, and when we come back, we'll go more to your calls. But please call in if you're a wife of a knight, if you're thinking about joining the Knights, if you are a knight and you want to share your comments or ask your questions of John Bertrand, please feel free to do that right now. This is a perfect opportunity. Steve did, and he loved the answer that he got from John. So we might have another future knight there. How wonderful is that? 1-800-585-9396. That's the number to dial to be on this conversation. Ed, you're going to be next after this break. Stay with us.
EWTN Book of the Month for June is Mother Angelica's Answers, Not Promises. Mother's straightforward solutions to life's puzzling problems are written in this practical, humorous, and common sense collection that will help you with your struggles and draw you closer to God. It's available through the EWTN Religious Catalog web store, EWTNRC.com, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or call 1-800-854-6316.
St. Augustine once wrote, "Question the beauty of the earth, question the beauty of the sea, question the beauty of the air, spread around everywhere. Question the beauty of the sky, the sun making the day glorious with its bright beams, the moon tempering the darkness with its shining rays. Question the animals that move through the waters and amble about on dry land. Question all these things. They all answer you, 'Here we are. Look, we're beautiful.' Their beauty is their confession. Who made these beautiful, changeable things, if not one who is beautiful and unchangeable? All creation shouts to us that there's a God, and just as a painting gives us a glimpse into the heart of an artist, all creation tells us that God is beautiful. But if we don't take time to question the beauty all around us, we won't hear that. So stop and smell the roses. I mean that literally. God wrote 2 books, Scripture and Creation. We should spend time reading both. This is Chris Stefanik from RealLifeCatholic.com on EWTN Radio.
Something amazing is happening on EWTN. One wildly dynamic speaker and a team of young missionaries are on a cross-country road trip, spreading their message of hope in Christ. Their passion is awakening youth to the power of God's love. It's energetic, honest, affirming, like nothing you've seen on TV before. You're Amazing with Justin Fatica. Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Global Catholic Network, EWTN.
Thanks for joining us on Take 2 with Jerry and Debbie. We have a guest on today, John Bertrand, Sir Knight. I didn't know that was the actual title, and so that is really kind of cool. I wonder, John, do I have to call my husband Sir Knight, or is that like a special title? Do I have to do that? John?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, do I have to call my husband Sir Knight? Is that a standard title, or did you earn that?
When you become the patriotic member, that you get the title of Sir Knight.
Okay.
So
okay.
If you want to give him a little special, you can call him Sir Knight sometime.
Okay.
But
okay.
It doesn't come with any added spousal benefits, though, right, John?
No, not that I know of.
Obligations, right?
No.
By the way, hi, Barbara. Barbara's listening right now. I want to say hi to John's wife, Barbara. In August, they're going to celebrate 50 years of marriage. That is so exciting.
Happy anniversary. John, I thought of the word exemplification. So that other than those times when you become the different levels of knights, is there other opportunities for wives? That was the question before the break.
Well, yes, tremendous opportunities. I mean, the knights are the members and they hold the offices, but can you name any programs or services that the knights do that don't involve most of the time wives and family members?
Yeah, that's
true. the whole concept of the Knights is not just a guy going out and serving. It's involving his family, his wife, the community, his church. In fact, starting last year, Supreme has recognized this even at a higher level, and there's some new programs called the Domestic Church, Building the Domestic Church. Now, the term Domestic Church came about during the Vatican renewal, So what they're doing is they're saying, our programs need to reinforce and rebuild the domestic church, that family unit. And so we've been doing it for years, but now there's even more emphasis on that. And, you can't do that if you don't involve your family and your wives in your projects. So in fact, I would say a lot of them do as much work or more work than their husbands when they get out there, because they find what's passionate for them too. And together they do these service and these service projects and different things that I think are very, very important.
All right, back to your phone calls on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. 1-800-585-9396. Want to hear from a couple of Knights of Columbus today. That is our topic on Take Two. We're going to go to Ed in South Bend, Indiana, listening to EWTN Radio on Redeemer Radio. Hello, Ed. Thanks for calling.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Ed, help us out here. We had a little problem with our guest hearing the callers before. So, John, are you able to hear Ed? He made a couple of comments there.
No.
All right.
Okay, sorry about that, Ed. We'll have to rephrase your question or your comment. Go ahead.
The reason why I called was I heard the average age of a knight is 60, and that just kind of shocked me. Me and my friends, we all became knights when we were in our early 20s, and it's because our dads were knights, and it was something we looked forward to. It was something he was allowed. It was just something great that we got to be a part of once we turned 18 or 19 or 20 when we did it. And it just kind of floored me, like, that the average age is 60, because it was something we enjoyed, something we got to do with our dad. And, I'm a third-degree knight, and as much as it was going through it, going back and watching a third degree, it was just amazing. And I don't understand why kids or people my age are not becoming knights.
Well, Ed, let me just reshare this with John Bertrand because of the little bit of technical difficulty. John, Ed was sharing that he was a little bit, shocked that when you shared the average age was 60 years old because his dad, and by the way, Ed, you got a great dad for doing that. I think that's awesome. His dad promoted the knights to his sons, and the sons joined in their 20s. Did I get that right, Ed?
Yep.
Yeah, and when he wanted just to know why is that? Why aren't the younger ones coming in? And obviously, you kind of shared it, Ed, that your dad was the one who promoted it, which is beautiful because he was a knight and he loved it, and so he gave it over to his sons. But John,
when I was old enough, like 16, I just enjoyed hearing about the knights and what they did, and then it was exciting to know in a couple of years I can become a knight. So I just was really taken back by that age.
Sure. So Ed, hold on there. Ed was just saying that when he was younger, he got to look forward to when he was able to join the Knights, and it was something for him to look forward to. And so it sounds like it was really nicely presented in the family, and that definitely helps. But John, can you comment on what Ed had to share?
Yeah, that's fantastic, and I think we could all try to figure out why that has happened, and there hasn't been as many young men joining. But basically, probably, you look at it and you think, okay, society has changed so much in the last 20, 30 years, especially, with so much pressure nowadays in order to survive. You almost have both husband and wife work with the families and time commitment and everything. There's just a reluctance maybe to say I'm going to add something else. So when you have a father who passes down that tradition and the importance of it, that's one of the best recruiting tools for the Knights of Columbus that exists. And I think that's true of if you look at all the kind of things in our church. When the family and the patriarch of the family passes down those values of our church, the kids pick it up more often than not, and carrying on with their families. And I think it's just a parallel with the Knights of Columbus.
Absolutely.
Were you able to? Yeah, go ahead, Ed.
I'm in my mid-30s now, and I absolutely have enjoyed my time as a knight. And when I was in my 20s, I wasn't nearly as active as I am now. But it's absolutely wonderful, and I just wish more dads would pass things like this along to their kids and along to their sons, because it's something I absolutely enjoy doing.
John, he's in his 30s now and is loving it and is more active than ever, and he just wishes more dads would encourage their sons. And I know, John, that you would heartily echo those sentiments.
Okay, I got an earpiece on. I'm listening to him now through my earpiece.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead, John, if you want to make one final comment, then we'll move on to our next caller. John, are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Okay, so All right. Well, anyway, on that note, Ed, thank you so much for calling. And John now is able to hear the callers. Thank God. When you're doing live radio, things like this do happen from time to time. Our number is 1-800-585-9396. Thank you very much, Ed, for your call. Constance is next, listening to EWTN Radio on Denver Catholic Radio in Golden, Colorado. Hi, Constance. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and Sir Knight John Bertrand.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I just heard Debbie comment wanting wives of the Knights to call in. I had wanted to share an experience when I had joined a new parish. You know, I always look to what organizations are available so that I can be involved and become active and meet people as a new parishioner. And I am single. Well, I'm divorced, but my marriage is annulled. And I'm older, and I work. So a lot of the organizations were meeting during the day that I couldn't join. I approached the wives of the Knights and said, "Can I join you? I don't have a night, but can I join you?" Absolutely. And, you know, that was such a huge, huge blessing for me. And I would say that parish, I had more friends than anywhere else I have ever belonged to because of the Knights organization and them giving me that, being able to serve with the wives of the Knights. And that was such a huge blessing to me. So just wanted to share that. And just, it may go based on from parish to parish, but the wives of the Knights did let me be involved as well, too.
Constance, that is beautiful. I hope, John, you got to hear Constance's comment, because for you to be able to just go to or you went and looked and sought out this organization, you asked to maybe possibly what could you do, be a member, and they welcomed you. I think that is really beautiful, and it just goes to show how much the Knights and the Knights, the whole Knights community, the wives and all, really want to build up the parish community, and that's huge. And that was your experience, obviously. I'm glad you called in. I was hoping that we'd get a female to call in, and that was wonderful, Constance. John, could you hear Constance?
Bits and pieces of it. It's a fantastic story. I've had similar experiences in our councils where I've had women in the parish come to me and tell me that they really want to encourage their husbands to join because they know how much it's going to improve himself and their family and their social life, too. So I think it's a fantastic story. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
You are very welcome, Constance. Thanks for
God
calling.
Bless you.
God bless you, too.
Thank
All right, that
you.
line is open there, 1-800-585-9396. Over to Boston we go. Joe, listening to EWTN Radio on the Station of the Cross. Hi, Joe. You're on with Jerry and Debbie and John Bertrand. How are you?
Oh, hi, Jerry and Debbie. I'm glad to be on the call, and thank you very much for talking about the Knights of Columbus. I'm currently a Grand Knight in my hometown council. We have a parish-based council. I've been in the council for going on 4 years now, and I've just finished my first year as a Grand Knight, and I'm just loving it. So it's really a great ministry. I think I'm on the younger side. I'm 47 years old, and definitely we need some younger guys to join their local councils because, the things that we provide to our families and to our community through the Knights are just amazing.
And Joe, I hope John could hear you, but I want to ask a question before we throw it over to John to have his comments. But and I would agree with you that the younger guys really do need to look into the Knights of Columbus. But being a Grand Knight, first of all, I want to ask you what drew you to the Knights, but as a Grand Knight, what does that mean? Do you get to wear is it called the regalia, the whole hat with the I call it the foo-foo hat. Please forgive me, but it just because it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But what does that entail to be a Grand Knight?
So to be a Grand Knight it means that you're in a leadership role in your local council, and all of the officers work with you on whatever your objectives are. So our goal is to really work on service programs that are church and community related. So being the Grand Knight, you're just kind of leveraging the resources of the council and the charity of the council members to accomplish different things, whether it be, parish-based or, maybe helping the unborn.
Beautiful, beautiful. John, did you hear Joe? Were you able to hear him?
Yes, I did, and congratulations on hopefully a successful year as Grand Knight, and I hope you will continue on in leadership and maybe go to some other levels, like a district deputy, where you can share your experiences with other Grand Knights.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. The older guys in the council are great to work with. We are trying to bring more younger members in, and I don't know, it's a great ministry. The thing, Debbie, that drew me into the Knights, believe it or not, is I had a young nephew join, and I was receiving the Columbia magazine because he was living with us at the time. And, I just learned through reading that magazine, which is part of your membership, that this is truly an authentic Catholic organization. And, the leadership is phenomenal. Supreme Knight Carl Anderson, I hope he runs for president someday, because the guy is just a stand-up Catholic man. He's just a wonderful Catholic gentleman, and I did get a chance to meet him. So I love the organization through and through, and look forward to serving it in whatever capacity I can in the future.
We love that magazine. Yeah, we love that magazine too. Joe, he didn't answer. Joe, you do have the full regalia? And just curious.
The honor guard is something that's optional. It is something that is you have to be a fourth degree member. I'm a third degree member, so in order to be an officer, you have to receive full knighthood, which is third degree. The honor guard is something special. So even if you are fourth degree, you don't necessarily have to be part of the honor guard. So it's, the Knights is all about what you want to make of it. You could just simply join to get access to the fraternal benefits of insurance, or you can join and, get engaged in the service programs. You can do honor guard. Fourth degree is almost like a separate order within the order. It's a huge organization. I'm continuing to learn more about it. And your guest, I'm not sure what his role is, but I think today is the first time I've heard him say. I'm sorry. What was his role? I mean, it's just kind of interesting. I'm always learning something new.
John, you want to share some of your experiences with the Knights? You've been a Grand Knight too, John.
Yeah, Grand Knight, and after that, you can become a district deputy, which means you then help other councils. You'll have 4 or 5 councils under your guidance. After that, you can do state programs. I was the state program director for California. I was the vocations director for California for 3 years. I became a fourth degree Knight, and I was a district master for the fourth degree, which means I was in charge of all of Southern California. Like he said is correct, is that the fourth degree is that patriotic degree, and we do a lot of service by being honor guards for different church events and different things like that to honor people, to have that kind of that reputation. We're known as kind of like the visible arm of the order. So that's kind of what the fourth degree is. But they're patriotic. They're just reinstilling and doing patriotic events. They'll create programs. They don't raise money so much as they'll create programs that serve that. For example, here in San Diego, my assembly, which is the name for the fourth degree, put together a program where they went down at Christmas. They've been doing this for 5 years now, and they stand out there with service people getting on and off planes and give them goodie bags, because they know when they get on that plane they can't afford to be paying the prices to have a snack between here and going home. And San Diego is a great place for that because we have all the recruiting depots of the military and Camp Pendleton and so forth. That kind of thing. So we're serving our military and those kinds of things. The military seminarian fund is another example to help seminarians who are going to become chaplains in the military. We only have like one chaplain for every several thousand families that are in the military.
All right, Joe, thank you for your call, and thank you for your service to the Knights of Columbus. I'm a past Grand Knight as well, so really want to give you my sincere thanks, Joe, for doing that. And thanks for listening to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and calling in. Got a lot more calls here. We'll get to as many as we can. Gorgon is next in Colorado, listening to EWTN Radio on Denver Catholic Radio. Hi, Gorgon. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and John Bertrand. How are you?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Very well. Appreciate the phone call.
I just wanted to call in. I'm a faithful navigator of a Brighton Council 2616, and it's the fourth degree. The faithful navigator, like the Grand Knight, is the third degree. I just wanted to call in and say the fourth degree, reiterate on what John said, we're the visible right arm and we do funerals and weddings and just anything to get involved and let people know that the Knights are out there and little kids see us. And also, he also mentioned about the chaplain program. Last year, the fourth degree, they did some fundraising. We raised almost $1 million for scholarships for priests that would like to be chaplains, because like he said, there's one Catholic priest in the military per thousands of families. They're just at an extreme shortage. If there's any priests out there that even consider that, that's a huge blessing to do, and the Knights of Columbus offers scholarships for that. But also, one thing that I didn't hear you guys touch on to get the kids involved, Brighton, they have a Squires, which is like a junior night if you're too young to become a knight. And they also do a bunch of local fundraising stuff, and they help the Knights out at dinners and parties and stuff like that. And it's also a great way to get kids involved. And I would definitely look into that if you have kids and you're a knight, or if you're thinking about being a knight but you have kids, you don't know what to do with the kids. There's always lots of options. And there's also women's auxiliaries. Our Brighton Council has a women's auxiliary that they also do lots of fun fundraisers and stuff. I honestly don't know exactly what they do. Sometimes they help us when we do events for helping cooking and running things. And so there's options for the whole family out there. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, John, very, very good call from Gorgon, a faithful navigator.
Yes, very good.
What, John or Gorgon, either one, if you could just real quickly describe, we've heard a lot of terms, Grand Knight and degrees, four degrees and so forth, faithful navigator. What exactly does a faithful navigator do within a Knights Council? Either one of you can answer that.
What we do in the fourth degree meetings, the faithful navigator will run the meetings and assign officer spots for treasury and everything. And then when we do regalia, he'll lead the march. He'll have he'll place everybody and have people help him, and just I honestly try to do exactly what the title says in the newsletter. I try to be a faithful navigator, get all our knights stay more on the faith side of things and the patriot side of things, and then the third degree with the Grand Knight, they do all the they do all the fundraising and all the honest hard work, and the fourth degree just kind of shows up and looks good and gets to do all the fun stuff, I think.
That is awesome, Gorgon. Thank you so much. It does sound awesome. If I was able to become a knight, I would go for the whole regalia and all, the whole thing. I'd do the whole thing. I think it's awesome.
You look cute in that.
Thank you. Thank you, John. God bless you for that. There was a knight here in Arizona. I begged him to get to wear one of their I don't know what the proper name to call it, with the hat with the beautiful colors on it. And they let me wear it for 30 seconds, John. I don't know if that was proper, but it felt great for 30 seconds. Just wanted to let you know that. Thanks, Gorgon. God bless you for that call. Okay, Rachel, we're going to go to you listening to EWTN Radio in Spearfish, South Dakota on Real Presence Radio. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for waiting. And what's your comment today about the Knights of Columbus?
Good morning. I just wanted to say that my dad was a Knight of Columbus in our hometown. He actually started the chapter at his parish. And so we grew up as children of a knight, and we have many memories of going to state conventions and helping out with different events for fundraising and helping charities and that sort of thing. And when my husband asked my father if he could marry me, my dad's stipulation for him to marry me was that he also had to become a Knight of Columbus. So now my husband is a knight, and he also is active in our parish, Knights of Columbus, and he takes our daughters to help with the Tootsie Roll fundraiser and that sort of thing. So we have 2 generations now that are Knights of Columbus, and it's been a beautiful thing for our family.
Well, what about that, John? That's kind of different, isn't it?
I think that's pretty much an experience that is shared across the country with wives and their families. I would say one thing here that I would encourage: if you're a young woman and you're not married yet, encourage your boyfriend or your fiancé to become a Knight of Columbus, because they're going to be a strong Catholic man, becomes a strong Catholic husband, becomes a strong Catholic father, becomes a strong Catholic family. And for those wives out there whose husbands are not members already. Encourage them to become members, because nothing will happen except that you will grow stronger in your marriage and your family will become stronger. So thank you for that sharing that experience. It's a great experience to have for families.
Thanks, Rachel. Appreciate you calling Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We've got just about a minute and a half. Want to get to Bob in Vista, California, listening to EWTN Radio on EWTN.com. Bob, welcome to the show with John Bertrand. How are you, Bob?
Doing great. I just wanted to mention I'm part of 4 generations of Knights of Columbus, and I'm looking forward to passing on my grandfather's Knights of Columbus ring to my grandson when he becomes a Knight. But I wanted to bring out that the important part of the Knights is the growth of leadership that's developed within the Knights individuals. And this growth, leadership growth, is in a Catholic atmosphere, which is very important. And I've seen many guys that join the Knights not knowing what they're doing, but getting involved with through our various programs, and ending up becoming chairman and saying, hey, I can get this stuff done too. And they learn to develop their leadership and end up being the Grand Knights and leaders in the 4th degree too.
And John, real quickly, got about 30 seconds or so, but this is really one of the beautiful things about the Knights of Columbus is passing it down from one generation to the next. This is a very inspiring story that Bob is sharing.
Yes, it is. And in addition, the other point he made, I think is very important. It develops leadership. So once you develop those leadership skills in the Knights, you can apply that to everything else. It'll make you a better employee. It'll help you if you got your own business. So the leadership skills you develop as part of the Knights of Columbus is very important. That's a great point. Thank you for making that point.
Thank you so much, Bob. We appreciate your call today. And oh my goodness, John, this was an amazing show and sharing so much. I think we really sparked a lot of interest. We answered a lot of questions. Well, you did, John. You did a great job, and our listeners as well. And I just wish, I have to just say, because this always bothers me, Jerry, this goes so fast this hour. Brian and Andrew and Bruce and the others, we're so sorry we couldn't get to you. But Jerry, where can they find the Knights of Columbus?
Well, it's kfc.org, and John, I know there are a lot of great resources and information on there, and of course the financial services. All of my money, which isn't very much, is in annuities with the Knights of Columbus, so folks consider that. John Bertrand, thank you so much. You hear the music. We're out of time, but we hope to be in touch with you, and again, a blessed 50th wedding anniversary to you and Barbara this August. Thanks, John.
Thank you so much for being part of this today.
All right, that's wraps up a week, Debbie. Wow, another week passed of Take Two.
Quick week, but we've got more planned for you next week, so you want to make sure every day you tune in at least to Take Two. Come on, you guys. Well, actually, stay tuned in all day long on EWTN because there are shows just for you. Don't forget to go to take2show.com. You can get to the Jerry and Debbie site there as well. Have a beautiful and blessed weekend.